All right, I pulled out my stripology ruler. I'm gonna do some binding and I'll show you how it works if you already don't know. This is it. This is the stripology XL ruler by Creative Grids. Okay, Happy New Year from me to you. Now that I got it out of the way, I'll show you how I make the binding. As you can see, the fabric here is too big to lay it out like that. So you're gonna fold it in half. It's already folded in half from selvage to selvage. You're gonna fold it again to make it fit. Once you have it like that, now you're gonna take your stripology ruler and you're gonna take any line and you're gonna line up the line with the fold. Hope I didn't lose you, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm realizing I want to make it as close to the edge as possible. So that's where it begins. That's where the first line is. So I'm adjusting and just making it fit, right? So I will need 9 strips. I do have one here. Sorry that my old head is in the way. And I'm just going to start it out. There's my first cut. Don't lift up your ruler. You already know your cut. So make sure you just don't lift it up and begin cutting. My strips here are 1.5, so I did start that first cut at 1.5, 3. I'm going to 4.5 now. 6. And what I'm using here is a 65-inch blade ruler. So it is cutting nicely. My mat is the Fiskar brand. And here I'm just going up until I believe I only need to go up to the 12-inch. Because at 3 inches each, that should give me 12. I mean, not 12, sorry, 8. And there we go. Mind you, this video is sped up just a tiny bit. That's why it's going so fast. Feel free to take your time. There are my strips. I would recommend this ruler, yes. It is very easy to use, to learn with. The cuts are pretty accurate. However, because you have to fold it twice, there is more of a chance that if you don't know what you're doing and you're not folding on the grain, that the cut will be crooked. It's not straight across. So I'll open it up here and I'm showing you. It looks pretty straight, yes, but you compare it to the line, you're gonna see it's just a tiny bit off. Sorry, my angle work is not as good here, but you can see it is a bit off. And while I don't mind because it's for my binding, it's not that much off, it'll do. When I do my strips, I do prefer the accuquilt because it is only one fold there, and once I am done my ironing, I fold it myself on the grain, and then I know it's a more accurate cut. And then I don't run into this little problem, right? But for other stuff, like my binding, I don't mind. This is good to have. Makes it faster, makes it easier. Other things like squares, I think even triangles, wherever, it's great to have. I do recommend it. I do like it. But just for my needs personally, I go to the accuquilt for my longer 3-inch strips. But I do really like this. I don't have to keep lining up every cut for my binding. You can just keep going, right? I also don't have to use the lines on my mat underneath. I use the lines on the ruler. So it's a fun thing to have. And with that being said, I think that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'll try to respond in the comments. Mind you, this is based on my opinion for my needs, right? So stripology, good for binding, much faster. I could do it by hand. It is a little faster for the stripology ruler because I don't have to move my ruler. I don't have to think about it, think about the cuts. I just kind of got to think where my next cut is going to be and go by the numbers off the ruler. However, with my needs, I need my strips as accurate as possible. The accuquilt, in my opinion, is more accurate for my larger 3-inch strips. I can do it by hand, but as you know, I am looking for easier for my hands, my wrists, my back. With how much strips I do go through, how much I need, the accuquilt is slower, but it is easier on me physically. So yes, I could go and cut individually by hand myself as well, faster. Do I want to? No. Again, me, my needs. I do star quilts all the time, and I know the cuts that need to be done. I know which ones I prefer to do by hand, and I know which ones I want to do with the accuquilt, which ones I want to do with the stripology. This is what I find I like these things for, right? And again, with my kits, the accuquilt not only, yes, it's slower, but it does help me trust other people to cut strips for me when I need the help to put kits together. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.